James is going to tell us a little bit about what we've been doing so far this morning, and then everybody's going to get up with their pen and come and sign the group agreement.
This morning we've been writing down values that we feel are important to the group and to keep us all safe, explained what that meant, and stuff we want to keep going in the group.
We have completed 2 sessions now. We have met our young people for the first time, an interesting mixture of boys and girls. Many more girls than boys, but it's still important for everyone to be part of the conversation.
Totally.
Started off by diving into doing a group agreement. So it was really good to actually sort of know what everyone's values are.
It's kind of letting them create that atmosphere that they feel comfortable working and something that they can all agree on, just so they feel not just comfortable, also they can stick to it because they're the ones that set the rules and they give them that bit of control over this space that they have. We
got into lots of the manosphere subject matters, so identifying what like the red pill was, the blue pill, what an incel was. It was interesting seeing them sort of digest this information.
It was quite cool just to hear what they discovered on their own without us telling them to go and look into things, what they've encountered in their lives.
Part of the project is actually handing mobile phones to the participants. That protects the young person by giving young people a smartphone, start going down the rabbit hole themselves.
So the unfortunate state of the internet right now is that anything you search up is going to be spat right back at you, 100 times. We had a girl talking about, I can't remember what she said, she'd searched up some movie or something and then it was all over her TikTok feed. If we were requesting young people to go and research heavier topics, like incel culture, the last thing we want is that to make a really big, footprint into their algorithm on their phone, and then they just kept getting spat, a lot of harmful content onto their personal phones that they're going to be using a lot. So by us giving them these phones, it kind of protects them from that.
How to get a girlfriend. That was the homework task that they were given.
One of the young people had found that told people not to ask girls if you should kiss them, but and just know when you have to kiss them. Just go straight for the smooch, and also to break the touch barrier as soon as you can. Just pounce on them.
But then there was also some content within that said like, and even some of our young people identified being that's actually quite a helpful thing. So it was like calling the person by their name. That seems like a kind of a nice thing to do. It's like,
quite charming, yeah.
Yeah, a few small bits of helpful stuff, but then, as ever, there was all this kind of negative or kind of inferred things. So sometimes if you're so intelligent that you might struggle to get a girlfriend, surprisingly. So it was almost like, I know you're smart, so I'm going to give you some secrets. Now, they mentioned a thing called
dark psychology. Ooh.
So dark psychology, kind of being edgy, almost as I sort of implied, was like, it sounds like it's forbidden knowledge that, I will let you know, and like other people will run away from it.
Dark psychology.
Yeah, so these are the secrets of courting, and you will succeed so highly. So very, very interesting kind of language. Also visually, we did have the thing about being like needing backup.
Yeah, and the little soldier with his gun. I think a lot of the problem in content like this is they specifically make a lot of stuff ambiguous for multiple reasons. I think mainly just so you go and keep looking into more things. So if they answer all the questions, you'll be like, oh, I know it. Whereas if they leave a little some breadcrumbs for you to keep going back to, then you'll consume more of their content. Like we found the red-blue method, which we kind of start to believe is not a real method, but it's something they mentioned in their video for people to go and research more.
Where does this content eventually lead? Like, what is the impact? What is the real world kind of impact of this kind of content, which at one glance looks like it's kind of harmless or even, to quote them at times, being brain rot. This does lead on to people being frustrated and seeing these as answers to why they're struggling so much with relationships. Then we had the real world situation of back in 2023 in Plymouth. There was a gunman and he killed people. And so we sort of really looked at that and saw the fact that, you know, he had consumed content, incel content.
Identified as an incel.
Yeah.
And was heavily inspired by incel culture to do the heinous things that he went on to do.
You know, 1 minute we're having kind of like jokes and things about...
The conversation literally went, haha, skibbity toilet, Italian brain rot, oh, shooting.
Yeah.
It was definitely quite a big... But it was relevant and it was necessary.
Relevant, necessary, needed contextualizing. You hope half the time that people won't take this content seriously, but unfortunately the effects of this are real and apparent, and loss of life, or, you know, self-harming, or, you know, just tragic ends of lives really that are definitely being continuously manufactured by this kind of content.
And just getting them to kind of start thinking about, you know, does the content they're seeing online manifest in real life, and to what extent?
We got on to getting them to start working on characters for the play, how tall they were, what kind of relationship they have with the parents, what kind of sexual orientation. One of the things that were brought up that they had to sort of answer is their relationships to pornography.
Not the most comfortable one to dance for a lot of them. They kind of stayed clear of it. It's, you know, especially for it's quite an awkward thing to talk about. Well, we kind of found that one group was kind of able to talk about pretty like blasé, you know, I think, yeah, you know, they were, whereas another group, they were like kind of giggly, a little bit sheepish.
Yeah. In their defense as well, I think, like, you know, how many times do even adults like talk about their relationship to pornography?
Highly taboo to even bring up.
Yeah. So for them to actually engage in that conversation, and also a couple of them did actually say to, like, you know, their own personal exposure to pornography being abruptly shown something, you know, by an older peer.
Yeah.
And then we finished up the session by doing hot seeing, a young person act out being one of the characters. So then we had the group ask them questions about being a footballer, and then we changed it up being the footballer just messaging and talking to a friend.
They were really good at that task, and over this session especially, they started to come out of their shell a lot more. Everyone was kind of keen to ask a question, have their say, which was great to see, especially at the start of today's session. They were still a bit quiet, they're still a bit nervous.
Important subject matter, and also, you know, quite dark subject matter, so they're actually willing to sort of, you know, give their thoughts on it, or, you know, even for them to turn around to be like, I actually found that bit helpful, or, you know, being able to question, like, especially the girls, and be like, so would you ever tell a boy who might have failed at, like, asking that, would you ever direct them to look at that content? Instantly it was like, no. But, you know, it's interesting to be like, well, where do you go for this information? Where are we showing good role models? Where are we showing, like, ways you actually can be, like, nice, and other than the fact that you might not have a parent that you can talk to about this, or you might feel uncomfortable talking to a friend, or you might not have any friends. So where do you go for this information? I think that's something that I personally would really like to know, really.
It was really, really good 2 sessions, and I'm excited. And I think they're excited as well. Definitely it was a really good atmosphere. It kind of radiated off of everyone, that sort of passion for it. I think quite a few of them are excited to go down to Dunfermline Football Club and talk to some of the players. Yeah, it'll be good.